Samsung Note 20 Ultra. I had this phone for about 6 months now, and I bought it when it first came out. One of the issues that happened right away was I broke the back of the screen. I dropped it right over here on the side, and then it cracked actually the whole screen right there, including the camera screen. Never had an issue with the front screen, but look at the quality of the camera. It has like a foggy glaze over everything. Front camera's okay, but the back one is garbage. This is one of the main reasons why I bought this phone, was for the capability of the back camera, and I haven't been able to use it for about 6 months because I dropped it on the second day, and the first thing to break was that. So here's a screen replacement I got from Amazon. It's super affordable. I think it was about $35, but it comes with everything you need. And it says a direct OEM replacement, but if you can see right there, they are covering up the Samsung logo. But it looks exactly the same, pretty good quality stuff. Might as well get it. I'll leave the link down below so you can get the same one I'm using today. It also comes with the adhesive glue that connects the back of the screen to the phone itself. And then you get a little bag, a goodie bag of tools. I'll go ahead and open these up. These come in handy, but I have my own iFixit kit that I prefer. But you have some nice little things. You got a couple different screwdrivers. You got the flathead right here. And you have smaller Phillips screwdrivers over here. If you need to take apart portions of your phone, we won't really be needing these today since we're only doing a screen replacement, not replacing any parts or anything like that. And then you got some good wipes. So you got the dry and the wet wipe. The wet wipe will be your first one, and the dry will be your second one. We're actually going to be using this since I have some pocket cotton all over the back of the camera since that broke open. And then you have a little suction device you can put on the back of the screen to suction some stuff up, which also helps a lot. I got the hard prying tool right here, which is good. You don't really want to use it if you're going to replace internal components, because this will break your screen. You kind of want to use a soft one like that, a softer one. So we're going to go ahead and get to it. Let's go ahead and grab the other tools we're going to be needing today. What I like to do first is to turn off the phone, like so. And don't worry, I changed my password. This is just a password for the video. But and also pull out your stylus, because you don't want to melt any components. Sometimes when using the heat gun, it can melt up components, it melts up the battery, and then you'll get some error codes and stuff like that during that process. Sorry about my other phone going off. And here's a heat gun I use. It's a Drill Master. I believe I got this at Harbor Freight for $19. I like it because it has multiple heat settings, the lower one and the higher one. For most small components like this, use the lower setting because you don't want to burn up your components. So let's go ahead and plug it in, and let's get started by heating the back panel up. Shouldn't take too long. And let me go ahead and turn the switch on over here. And I'm going to put it on the low setting, and we're going to go around the edges. That's where the glue is. It's about 1 centimeter of glue on the side. And you want to go in a direction. You don't want to keep it on one spot too long, because that's when you start damaging components. So what I like to do is I like to fill the back of the panel to make sure it's not getting too hot, because there's a lot of fragile components in here, especially the battery. You can burst that battery with high temps. So you're just going to follow this direction like that. You're going to go ahead and speed up the process. Again, I like to do 5 minutes, and I touch it just to make sure that it's not getting too hot. So I'll be touching it off and on. So let's go ahead and speed up the video, guys, and I'll show you what we're going to be doing next. Again, this is a 5-minute fix. If it's taking you longer than 5 minutes, you're doing something wrong. Okay, that's about 5 minutes, and of course I'm going to go ahead and touch it one more time. You want it hot to the touch, but not like it's going to burn your finger hot, because at that point you're destroying your internal components. So definitely just keep touching it. It's about ready. I've been doing this for a couple years now. So always, if you're afraid to burn internal components, you can always start to pry, and if you can start feeling the glue coming off, well, then you're probably already there. You can always rewarm it up, because keep in mind that glue is designed to adhere again once it cools off. That's just the design behind that type of glue. So yep, it feels pretty good already. It's getting nice and toasty. So we're going to go ahead and put the heat gun away, turn it off, And we're gonna try to use the little soft prying tool that came with the thing. I'm gonna try it, but I really don't like these. They're a little too fat on the edges for the cell phones. You need something a little thinner. And you have to get right in this little bezel, so that's not working. I'm gonna try the hard one. This is not working either. A little too thick on the edge. So I'm gonna just try to scrape in there, try to get in there with this little kit that came with it. But these are like universal kits that don't really work that well with smaller devices. So I'm going to pull out the trusty iFixit kit. I'll leave the link down below for this one. This is also $39, but I like to use this little thin scraper for screen repairs. You can really get into that little wedge right there between the phone and the back screen. Look how fast I got in there with a really good tool. And you just cut away the glue. Remember, there's about an inch of glue, sorry, a centimeter of glue around the edges. And with this one, you want to go back and forth to rub the glue off right there. On the side, it's a little different because the screen is bezeled at the end. It curves around to form fit the phone, so you want to go up. Again, with this type of phone, it's already cracked, so I don't have to worry too much, but as you see right there, I'm going up, scraping upwards to get the glue off. I accidentally turned the phone on, but I'm scraping upwards to get the glue off on the edges. That's kind of what you want to do, and you just want to take your time back and forth. This would be the longest process of the 5 minutes. It's just getting the glue properly off. And with this little tool from iFixit, it definitely helps out a lot. So there's two bezels, guys. Keep in mind, there's going to be the back bezel that connects the back glass to the back of the case, and there's also another bezel that connects your front glass, the screen, to the front. Do not scrape into the front of the glass, okay? The front screen is a lot more expensive than the back screen, and if you don't have any cracks on the front, definitely make sure you get into the right bezel. You don't want to crack your front screen. It cracks very easily, especially with this type of prying tool. You want to use a plastic prying tool to be more safe, but the reason why I'm using the metal one is because my back of the screen's already cracked. See, I was already getting on the wrong one, so you really have to pay attention to that. Yeah, so it's going to be the one in the back that you want to scrape into. And again, same type of thing. You're going to kind of pry it in there and then scrape upwards to take the glue off. And it's only about a centimeter of glue, nothing too crazy. I heated the phone up pretty good. I actually went into a reset setting because I was holding the buttons down. I'll go ahead and turn that off in a little bit. But again, just scrape away, guys. So scrape away the glue. This should be pretty easy. Just like I was saying before, don't get the front screen because the front screen is still in a good condition. And it's coming off pretty easy. It's a pretty good heat gun. You don't really need anything too expensive. I know some heat guns have 3 settings, but low and high is always a pretty good way to go. So most of the back of the screen already came off, as you see right there. Once you get most of it pried off, you can pry away. Keep in mind, this is glass on the back of here too, so I would recommend wearing goggles with this. You don't want to get that thin glass fiber in your eye. Some people even wear gloves because you don't want to get those little glass splinters in your fingers, but I like to feel the heat and stuff like that. And it comes straight off just like that, guys. So one whole piece. There's a little bit of glue left on the back of there. I'm going to scrape off. But as easy as that, voila. I don't even have to use a suction cup on the back. But some people like to use it if they don't want to break apart the screen, but mine's already broken. So that's it, guys. Nothing too crazy. It's an easy 5-minute fix. And there's a direct replacement. It says OEM on Amazon, but I doubt it. I don't think Samsung would sell OEM stuff like this. They would probably want to repair it for you. They probably don't want you to repair your own phone because of warranty issues. But that's it. So you can see the cracks, the crack right there on the camera itself, which made that foggy distortion. And this, I need to go ahead and clean up the lens itself. I don't recommend this if you don't have any cotton or dust on your lens, but for me, I have a lot of weird stuff on there making that foggy distortion since my camera glass was broken. So I'm going to go ahead and use the wet wipe first, hence the number 1. Or if you don't have these wipes, you can also use an isopropyl alcohol or a 90%, 99% alcohol to get this done as well. The reason for that is it's not as conductive as water, and it also dries off pretty fast. So anytime you use a electronic device, you can do that. Again, let me just turn off the screen in a little bit. It's just trying to do a hard reset. I think I was holding the buttons down in a weird direction. So I'm going to get all that pocket cotton off the camera lens itself. This is an added step if you have any issues with that. Just be nice and gentle. These camera lenses on the inside are very fragile as well, and we don't want to be replacing components we don't need to. So there we go, just like that, nothing too crazy. And you can always take your time with any of these processes, especially when you're working with the smaller phone components. You don't want to break anything. There's no need to break more things, especially if everything's working just fine. And there's that screen. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. It's wanting me to just factory reset it. So what I'm gonna do is cancel that. You're gonna hold the on button and the down arrow for 7 seconds, and it's gonna cancel the hard reset to the phone. And now we can get back to business. So we're gonna go ahead and get the dry wipe, even though the alcohol does dry off on its own pretty fast. But we're just going to follow these 1-2 steps. I have my big gorilla hands. It's kind of hard to get these little wipes sometimes. So we're going to go ahead and wipe the inside of the lens off just like that. Nothing too crazy. You know, nice circular motions. I'm not putting any pressure on the inside lens. Again, you don't want to damage anything. Getting all that excess cotton and dust and dandruff and dog hair, whatever went in there. Probably a lot of dog hair. I have 3 dogs. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep dusting that off. And now I'm going to go ahead and grab the screen. So when you pull this off, be very gentle. I already did it wrong. The glue for the camera actually stayed on the back of this plastic, which is not good. So we're gonna go ahead and put that back on there. Normally this comes off without pulling the glue off. So if this does happen to you, just put it back on. Press down on the sides so the glue can stick to the phone and not to the plastic. It's having a little bit of issues. I'm assuming it's because it's about 28 degrees Fahrenheit in this room. Yeah, it's snowing in San Antonio, guys, and my main heater broke, so I'm using space heaters. So that's probably why that came off like that. Most of the time this doesn't happen. So just press on the edges nice and gently. Remember, this is glass, this is not a plastic, so you don't want to break your glass. So just be nice and gentle but firm on the sides, okay? And just rub it until it adheres to the glass. And I'm gonna rub it a little bit more and take my time peeling it off. And it's looking good so far. Having issues with this side now. This is one of the more important parts, is to make sure that glue sticks, because that's the whole purpose, you know. Okay, there it goes. That's the way it should look. Make sure it stays behind the line so you don't see it when you put it on the back of the phone. And now that's what you want to see. So you can see the glue on the back of the case itself. That's what you want. And now we're just going to go ahead and put it on and press it in place. And voila, guys, nothing too crazy. Normally what I like to do is I like to press on the edges for about 5 minutes, nice and firmly, but not too firm, because it is glass, like I was saying before. And you just want to keep rubbing for about 5 minutes, and then after the 5 minutes, you don't want to put it in your pocket, and please don't put a case on this phone. It takes 24 hours for that glue to really adhere. So don't put it in your pocket because that can mess up the adhesion process. You can sometimes make the case fall off because of the pocket dandruff again. So definitely just take care of it. Normally what I like to do is do this before I go to sleep and let it adhere overnight. And then next day I just kind of keep it out of my pocket and keep a case off of it. So I'm just going to press again for 5 minutes on this, back and forth. And once you feel like it's in place, you can take the protective sleeve off the back of it. It's just this anti-scratch screen. It doesn't really do anything fancy. The camera lens looks a lot better already. Looking pretty good. I'm just making sure before I take that off that it's adhering properly, and to make sure there's no big spaces between the phone and the glass back panel, because that's what makes it waterproof. So there's a little bit of glue coming out of the edge right here. We're gonna have to get a razor blade for this in a little bit and cut that off, and then just make sure there's no spaces, because again, if you want a waterproof phone, you can't have any spaces, especially on the back, because then water's gonna get in and your phone's gonna break. So just make sure everything is seamless. You can always press down a little bit on it to make sure the seams are closing up properly. So yeah, we're gonna have to come back to that little area with a razor blade in a little bit. And again, the reason why that happened is it got stuck to the back of the plastic when I was pulling it off, and I wasn't able to align the glue properly. Normally that doesn't happen. And there it is, guys, a nice new phone back. Everything looks good. Let's go ahead and do the pill and the reveal. And there it is. It says Samsung right there on the back of that hidden black sticker. So I guess it might be an OEM. I doubt it. Let's go ahead and check the way the camera looks. Let's see if that fixed the blurry camera issue we had. Let's go ahead and start that up. And hopefully that fixes it, because that's the main reason why I did the back repair. Let's see what we got. And voila, you can see the nice red color, the green color, without that foggy issue we're having before. Everything looks good. Let's go ahead and zoom in and make sure the other lenses are working. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So everything looks really good. The colors are as sharp as day one. Everything looks really good, guys. And there you go, guys, a $30 fix. Do it yourself so you don't have to pay a third-party repair person $300 or sure $125. They come up with their own prices. And those screen protectors are the ones I use for the front. I'll leave the link down below as well. But overall, it looks really good. It looks like a brand new Samsung Note 20 Ultra. I just have to come back with that with a razor, but feels good, looks good. It looks OEM, and I guess that's the whole point of getting this one. Anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some B-roll. I'm going to go ahead and just step up here and show you the beautifulness of this. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share, and hit the bell notification icon on top so you can get more videos like this. Go Spit and Miner out. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.